Before we get into this week's episode, I, Rosemary, just wanted to give you a little heads up that I'm currently working on a book that I'm having published with Unbound. It's a crowdfunding platform that essentially asks people who are interested in reading the book to pledge to support it ahead of its publication. So you can go onto unbound.com and search Rosemary McCabe or the book, which is called This Is Not About You, and you can pledge to support it ahead of publication from £10 for an ebook up to, I think, £3,000 or something if you want me to come and speak at your event. So, I mean, listen, who am I to stop you? If you have £3,000, feel free. But anyway, I would really, really appreciate your support, and the book will hopefully be out on or before Valentine's Day 2022. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another episode of Not Without My Sister, presented by me, Rosemary McCabe, and
me, Beatrice McCabe.
But mostly me. Today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about, in honour of moi and my birthday, mon anniversaire, we're going to be talking about birthdays and birthday parties and all the great memories we have from them that do not involve me stabbing anyone in the leg with a pufferfish. Oh, we've already talked about that.
That's nice. So what age are you going to be, 38?
Oh, I'm going to be 36, and you the other day said something about me being 37.
I thought you were.
Like, what are you talking about,
You're
Claire
very
McCabe?
mature. You're doing a lot of knitting, which is fine. It's very trendy, but like you're very settled in your ways. And I just thought, I did think, it's been a long year. It's been a long pandemic year. I know what year you were born. I just didn't do the maths.
I have actually been feeling very middle-aged. The other day I was sitting, I think Brandon had gone to pick up the boys, and I was sitting on the couch knitting, and I'd just made myself a cup of tea, and the dog was sitting next to me, and Brandon and the boys came home, and I was like, had my bad foot up on the poof, was knitting away, and I was like, this isn't a sexy scene that he's coming home to.
This isn't sexy. Well, I mean,
although
honestly,
he is into crafts, so maybe he does find it very attractive.
Have you watched that Lana Condor movie on Netflix, All the Boys I've Ever Loved?
Have I, Beatrice? Of course I have. Does it star like teenagers having some kind of dramatic rom-com? Of course I've watched it, and I've watched the next one.
Well, I haven't watched the next one, and I heard the next one is coming out soon. So
the next one's coming out, I know, and I can't wait.
I better catch up on this.
Basically got it marked in my diary. Have I watched?
Well, I watched it last year. I was like, well, I suppose I'll give this a go. It's a rom-com. Anyway, halfway through, I'm literally like, oh my God, I should be a teenager. I'm like, this Noah Centino guy is so attractive. So I text one of the girls in the office and I'm like, have you watched this movie? She's like, oh yeah, I loved it. I go, oh my God, I have such a crush on your man. And then I go,
crush.
So, yeah, I know. Well, it was hideous. So then I Google him. I'm busy Googling him. And I'm like, I think he's 19, right? So I'm like, I'd like to say in my defense, I was only 41 at the time. But I'm like, oh my God. Hideous flashback. Did you remember we were living in Brooklyn and we went to see the Twilight movies and there were all these women in their 40s. I mean, they're actually probably only in their 30s. Oh my God,
yes.
And they had those signs like Team Jacob, Team Sparkle Face, whatever his name is.
And t-shirts. Edward.
Yeah, and we were just horrified. Remember, we were so judgmental. My hands have gone all sweaty talking about this. Do you remember we were like, who are these creepy losers? And now I'm like literally Googling your man Noah, following him on Instagram. Like, this is...
I was just about to say I follow him on Instagram. Oh my God, he's gorgeous. He's a gorgeous little thing.
Oh, gross. But anyway, I realised I could entirely be his mom. If I lived in Fort Wayne, which I do, if I was brought up in Fort Wayne, I could be his mom and almost his granny. Actually, hideous. Like, absolutely terrifying thought. Not about the age, but more like just, gross. Fancying little teenage boys who are really good actors in great movies.
Okay.
Creepy.
That is not a quote I will be cutting out and creating a clip from. He's also not that little, and he's 19, so he's an adult man.
He might be 20 by now. Let's hope he's 20.
I think he's probably 21.
Beatrice. Oh, good news, good news.
Yeah, listen, don't worry.
News.
Anyway, back to birthdays. I'm not really sure how we got to that. Oh, this is what I want to know. On your 21st birthday, did you have 21 kisses?
We had this conversation before on a different podcast.
Did we?
Yeah, because you mentioned how Claire gave you yours. And it may have been the beginning of a downward spiral in her life for her.
dare you? I am nobody's bad omen. That's very bitchy.
I don't know. I just find it incredibly boring. Oh, this is what I was going to say, was that, so I got, after we mentioned my so-called life in our, was it the female protagonist episode?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good friend of mine, Linda, with whom I lived in Kilkenny, who got it mentioned before, and has actually messaged me a few times. How come you've never mentioned any of the ridiculous things we did together, how you embarrassed yourself in front of me? I was like, because they're actually really embarrassing. But anyway, she texted me and she goes, oh, I can't believe you were talking about my so-called life. I loved it so much. It was like such a seminal moment in my life. She goes, I rewatched it recently. They were all so annoying and I actually identified with the parents. So depressing. Well, I'm not that mature because I still like teenage rom-coms. That was my point. I still like all the teen rom-coms, Linda, so I'm sorry that you got so sensible, but I'm not with you.
That's actually true. And like, I never watch these things and identify with the parents. Did you watch Dumpling on Netflix?
No.
That was, I think, was it produced by Dolly Parton? There's a Dolly Parton link somewhere. It's about this girl who's fat, basically, and she wants to compete in a beauty pageant or something. I can't. I mean,
yeah, Jennifer Aniston,
so
right?
Many of these.
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston's her mom. Yeah, and has really bad fringe. But I never watch these things and think I could be Jennifer Aniston. I'm literally watching it going, I could be Dumpling.
Oh yeah,
she's 16.
I'm 1,000,000% like I'm Dumpling. I'm not Jennifer Aniston. She's got a rock hard bod and works out in the gym the whole time. I am definitely Dumpling. I get that it's not your point. I recognise that wasn't your point.
Speaking of rock hard bods, and I know this isn't about birthdays at all. We've now gone terribly. This is like red herring number 16. What do you think about JLo and her assertion that she hasn't had Botox? She's just really kind to other women. Did you read this?
Rosemary, I don't judge women. If JLo wants to tell blatant fibs about her Botox, that's up to her. Do you know what? Maybe she doesn't. Like, maybe actually, you know what? She didn't say, I haven't had a facelift. I haven't had my skin threaded. She just said, I haven't had Botox.
No, she said, I haven't had any cosmetic procedures.
Well, you know what? Like, all those things that we saw Eva Mendes doing with, like, the needle through her skin, like a crochet hook, is allegedly not a cosmetic procedure. So it depends what you're calling it. Oh my God,
I have to send you, and I'll share it in the show notes. There's this Russian doctor that I found on Instagram who does basically threading and fillers and does these, like, literally somebody comes in looking like somebody's like dumpy Aunt Berta. You know, who
How
like... No, but
dare you pick a name so similar to mine?
Oh, sorry. It looks like the aunt you'd see tilling the field in a photo from 1920s Moscow, right? This is what she leaves looking like Gigi Hadid. The transformations.
Is this a real doctor? Like, do you have his
bizarre
number?
Yes.
I'm way too afraid of pain. I could go to Russia.
I think it's a woman.
I could go to Russia.
I could go to Russia.
I have
but I'm
an
afraid of pain,
excellent
so
Russian accent, as we already discovered through Jennifer Lawrence and her sparrow. Remember, we had that whole conversation.
More German than Russian.
Excuse me, I was getting geared up. Anyway, back to
the line is, you sent me to whore school. That's the line.
I wasn't going to say that again because this is about birthdays and that seems inappropriate. I mean, you can have a birthday at a whore school, I suppose. Even whores have birthdays.
How do you feel about your birthday? Do you like to celebrate your birthday and do something for it, or do you care?
I mean, I'm pretty I'm 42 now, so like, who cares? I mean, it's just, of course I care. It's a day about me. And I absolutely care. And it's my birthday week, just so you know. What about you? Do you care?
Oh, I don't approve of birthday weeks.
Oh, well, it's my birthday week. You'll approve of birthday weeks when you have 4 kids.
Tomorrow it's going to be my birthday week.
You'll care when you have 4 kids and you're like, nobody looks at you sideways, even when you're talking to them on repeat, like loudly, even when you're screaming in their face, they do not listen to you. So the fact that it's my birthday week means nothing.
But like, does that make them listen to you?
No, at least the attention is on me, and every now and then somebody will say, oh, it's Mom's birthday week. Be nice to her. Right?
Who would say that?
Don.
None of your children.
Don says
That's like, none of your children are going to say that.
No, they're like, oh.
It's Mom's birthday week. Be nice to her.
Yeah, they basically are like, can we have some of her cake? That's what they would say.
Yeah, or basically like, oh, it's Mom's birthday. Mom, when's my birthday? How many days to my birthday?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of hate... I don't know. Do I like birthdays? I love birthday parties. I like having parties.
Like your own or other people's?
Both. I love parties.
Oh.
I love a good party.
Oh, you do love a party.
Mm-hmm. I love a party much more.
I also love a birthday brunch.
Oh. Yeah. I know, it's all very civil. I like when it gets a bit debauched. I just like parties. Bev best one, we were talking about it the other day. I was doing that personality test, 16 personalities yet again. And we were talking, my friend and I were talking about it. And I was like doing it for her because she got a result with which I disagreed. You'll be surprised to hear. And I said, let me do this for you. So I said,
shocked.
So it was like at a birthday party, I like to chat, socialize, be the biggest voice in the room, whatever. And I was like, well, you're not, a wallflower, but you're not, I was like, you're not like Cathal, our friend, who was literally to be found pole dancing up and down the, what was that pole in the middle of our apartment in Brooklyn? Like it was like a heating pole in the middle of the room. And he was at one point found about 4 feet off the ground, just like rotating around it. Like amazing.
It's very impressive.
Very impressive. So I was like, she's not that. I'm not that. But I do enjoy somebody who can get to that level of enjoyment of a party. Like that to me is a good party now. Somebody literally pole danced on the pipe in the sitting room. Good job. Right? Pipe is not a metaphor.
That's a 10 out of 10 party.
Yeah, exactly.
10 out of 10. So I used to have a Christmas party every year back when I was more sociable than I am now. Oh, no, I probably would still like to have a Christmas party, although now that I'm in Fort Wayne, I'd only know about 3 people to
You
invite,
actually know loads of people. And your house is tiny, so it would look packed in no time, be brill.
Oh, that's actually true. Mm-hmm. Anyway, when I lived in Dublin, I used to have a Christmas party. And so, okay, I'm going to have to give somebody a fake name. So there was this
subtle.
There was this really gorgeous guy named Jim.
Okay, got it.
Jim, who was dating my friend Laura, right? Not their real names.
Okay, got it.
And I have another friend, Laura, right, with whom I used to work. And the other Laura wasn't there, right? So I don't know why. So my other friend, say, let's call him Brian, arrived. And Brian is gay, right? And he walks in and the first thing he goes is, who is that about Jim? Very good looking Jim. And I went, oh, that's Laura's boyfriend, Jim. And he was like, Laura's boyfriend, Jim. And he happened to be really good friends with Laura, with whom I worked, who wasn't at the party. And somehow in his head, he got it into his head that this was Laura's boyfriend, Jim, Laura, who he knew. That her boyfriend, Jim, was there without her.
Absent
I have no
Laura.
idea why this would happen.
Yes, absent Laura's boyfriend,
Absent
Jim.
Laura. And a couple of weeks later, his friend Laura invited him over for lunch. And he told me he was in a state of like abject hyperactivity, waiting to have an entire meal with Jim. Do you know what I mean? That he was like, oh, and I remember telling my friend Lisa, it's like, I'm going over. Oh yeah, and the other thing is Lisa knew Laura and her actual boyfriend, who like is just very average. Right? So when he said to Lisa, oh, I'm going over, I can't wait to see her boyfriend. He is gorgeous. Lisa was like, you think? And he was like, yeah, oh my God. He was at a party, Rosemary. He is so sexy. And Lisa was like, okay. And he said, so he went over to Laura's house for lunch and her actual boyfriend, not named Jim, opened the door. And Brian said he was literally standing there waiting for like Jim to appear, that he was like, who's this? Is this the help? Like, and he was like, oh, hi. Like, I'm here for lunch. And he was so disappointed. That was the same party at which I served the Christmas turkey from the Christmas before. And did anybody die?
What?
No, it had been in the freezer.
For 12 months?
Yeah, it was grand.
Don would have a stroke. He's obsessed with freezer burn.
I know. So would Brandon. Every second day, there's a whole load of stuff in the bin that's been freezer burnt.
I literally never even heard the term freezer burn. Now, I also recognise that in our family, as our aunt recently got a kitchen makeover and had spices from 30 years ago that she was unwilling to part with. I also recognise that maybe, again, what I think is normal in terms of like the longevity of food is not everybody else's perception. But this freezer burnt, like Don will take a perfectly good chicken breast out of the freezer, look at it and say things like freezer burnt. And I'm like, it's frozen. It's just frozen. Freezer burnt around the edges. I'm like, it's wrapped in plastic. How can you tell what it is? Plus you're a vegetarian. Only I will die. Don't worry about it.
But like, I don't think you even die if something is freezer burnt. It might just make it taste a bit off.
Oh, well, listen, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I don't think it'll kill you.
Well, anyway, so I said I'm not an expert anyway. So you had a party, a Christmas party, not a birthday cake that was a year old.
No, a turkey. Even worse.
But like, it was cooked?
No, I think it had been in the freezer raw. I think what had happened was Mom and Dad had got a too big turkey for Christmas. They'd been given a turkey by the neighbour or something for Christmas. And so they cut it in half. It was boned and rolled or something, and they put half in the freezer before they cooked it or something. I can't even remember. It was part of a turkey. It wasn't cooked because I remember cooking it in my house and then serving it up to my guests, who were none the wiser and were delighted.
I have to say, you are not exactly promoting yourself as a wonderful host here. You're like, it was 12 months old, didn't poison anyone, but like, you fed it to them on
Everything else was new.
Yeah, but you fed it to them anyway, not knowing that it wouldn't poison them. So I'm a little bit nervous now about your next party. Tell me about,
pretty sure.
What's your favourite birthday food? Like if I'm making you a delicious birthday dinner, what is it?
Oh, I would like, well, no, I don't want you to make it. I want Mom to make it. I would like Mom's lasagna. You can make the garlic bread because she always makes that a little bit crunchy.
I am a better lasagna maker than Mother.
Oh my God. If this isn't now further proof that you need to be written out of the will, what was it last week? You were saying Mom has no patience with your kids and now you're saying you're a better lasagna maker than she is.
I just said Mother even thinks my lasagna is delicious. No. I said she has become slightly less patient as she's gotten more mature.
Anyway, I would like, you know what I would like for starters? Do you remember you made last summer?
Sorry, I'm not making anything now.
Okay, fine. But you can just give me, I'll just find the recipe. Do you remember the really thinly sliced pieces of courgette with, was it like lemon and a little bit of olive oil and black pepper? That was delicious.
Don't know.
Like that for a starter. Mom's lasagna for my lunch and then Mom's apple dumpling, not lunch, dinner, apple dumpling for dessert with custard.
How could you have apple dumpling after lasagna? Would you not be stuffed?
This is in like a fantasy world where I don't get stuffed, i.e. the real world where I can practically eat 6 courses in a go.
Is that your favourite? Do you not find apple dumpling very starchy?
Oh my God, I love it's so stodgy.
Starchy.
I love it so much.
Starchy.
Well, it's both starchy and stodgy.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Okay, I mean, I could be there with you with the lasagna. I would like a classic carrot cake. Only today I cemented my love for Dawn by we both looked at local supermarket catalogue and in unison on the page with Valentine gifts that were strawberries dipped in chocolate, we both went, ugh. I hate fruit dipped in chocolate. And he said, me too.
So weird about that.
He said, me too. And I was like, this is why we're in love.
I remember one summer at Taste of Dublin, that you know that food festival thing that happens in the Ivy Gardens where you pay like 20 quid to get in, then you have to change all your money to special Taste of Ireland token money.
Sounds
called
brilliant.
Florins. It's actually ridiculous. And like everything is a minimum of something like €8. It's such a rip, like it's ridiculous. But anyway, I bought like an €8 tub of strawberries covered in melted chocolate. Delish.
I thought you were going to say you immediately left. Was this for your birthday? You are going off topic rapidly.
No, it wasn't. It was in the summer.
Oh. Did you ever wish your birthday was a different time of year? Your birthday's in February. Did you ever wish it wasn't in February?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because when I was a kid, anytime I would try and plan a birthday, Mum would be like, oh, yeah, but, you know, it might snow. So we'll always have to bear in mind that it might snow and we might have to cancel. And, like, I feel like in my memory we had to cancel half of my birthdays. And I'm sure that's not true, that we only had to cancel 1 or 2.
I don't think you ever had to cancel any of them.
Well, we definitely had to cancel a couple because I'd get myself into a state of like absolute mania and then have an asthma attack because I get so excited about my birthday coming up.
I don't know if that's true.
Do you
I
not
feel
remember
like,
that?
No, I think that maybe Mom and Dad were like, you have an asthma attack, but it was more like just nobody accepted the invitation. No, I actually genuinely don't remember any asthma attacks, but like, you could be right.
Weapon.
You could be right.
Yeah. There were, I mean, not even an asthma, like, I don't think I ever really got asthma attacks, but I would just my asthma would get steadily worse over a couple of days. I would just basically be in a state of absolute excitement, like, wouldn't be sleeping or anything. And then I would have to cancel it.
God, I used to love parties, actually. I used to love my birthday, because my birthday is in November. I used to just love, so I never had any of those, but I used to just love, like, the musical chairs, the rap, pass the parcel, like all the stuff.
Oh, pass the parcel.
All the trouble these parents went to. And now I'm basically like, here's some pizza on a sheet pan and there's some other stuff and play some games. Like, it's pretty exhausting. I mean, I think it is. I do think, I mean, I don't know if it's my correct memory, but I fairly think like we had our parties, they started at 3:00 and I don't think that was like, and there's a stop, you know, a hard stop time. It was like whenever the parents, and a lot of the parents stayed or they came back, you know, at 6-ish. Yeah. But like here, and maybe this is the same in Ireland, but a lot of the invitations that Nash has gotten, and he's 9 now, have been like parties starting at 12 over at 1:30. And it's very odd to me.
Short.
Yeah, it's very odd. But actually loads of people now, and maybe this is the wise thing, do parties at the trampoline place.
Like
or
Sky Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is,
so
and then you go
a certain
into
time, and then
you go into a side room
or anything.
Yeah, they go into a side room and you have pizza. But like, I'm also going, is that not extremely expensive for like an 8-year-old's birthday party? Maybe I've got that. It
must be really expensive. But don't you like, if you have a party at home now, isn't it pretty much de rigueur to have gift bags and stuff? Like fun bags when they leave.
But like a fun, yeah, well, I mean...
Fun bags is the wrong term.
But like, doesn't a fun bag... Oh, well, gift bag. A party favour.
A party bag,
But doesn't that also just have like, here's some 10p sweets and, you know, a pencil and whatever? Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean...
They're all hyper by the time they leave, you know what I mean?
Yeah, God. I mean, I just remember, like, from when I was a kid, a lot of the time I just remember parties ending in mayhem. Do you know what I mean? That, like, ending in either me being in a total grump, like if I was at somebody else's party, especially because you're right, like if I was at a party and mom had come, she would often be like having a cup of tea and having a bun and just like sitting down and chatting, and I would be not necessarily wanting to go, but definitely like grumpy and tired and ready to go, if you know what I mean. And then we'd be there for ages with her chatting, going like, go back and play in there, and I'd be like, I've eaten too much chocolate. Don't feel well.
Well, I just feel bad for Beau, who's 7, who has his birthday on the 27th of December. And like, obviously, many people have their birthdays in awkward, you know, days and months, and in the entire summer holidays. But if we were to do the 6, so like people kind of do that 6 month, your half birthday, and that's when you have your party.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But then it's still the summer holidays and everybody's not here as well.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do. So any thoughts on that would be much appreciated. But have you any plans for your upcoming birthday in which you will be 36?
No, because there's a pandemic. I mean, if there wasn't a pandemic, I would probably say, let's go for dinner, or let's go for... There's a new place actually that's opened up downtown called Mercado on the Landing that looks like kind of a Mexican fusion-y place that I saw somebody putting up pictures from today and looked delicious. So I would probably say, let's go somewhere like there, you know, with like a few of us and have dinner and have a few drinks or whatever. But as it is, I mean, Brandon gave me my birthday present about 4 weeks ago. So I honestly just think it's going to be a like, morning, happy birthday. Mwah.
So I'm sort of interested by the fact that like you're about to be 36, not really an important age, but you expect us all to, if it wasn't for a pandemic, you know, get babysitters, go out for dinner with you, have drinks, celebrate the fact that you're 36. Is it a big deal, or is it just like, should you just be at home with takeaway, getting a grip?
Well, I'm at home with takeaway, getting a grip 4 nights a week anyway, so I'd like to do something special.
Only 4?
Hey, I know what you mean. And like, I think in my 20s, I definitely had a few years where I'd kind of be like, oh, you know, I'm too old to make a big deal now. Whereas now that I'm a bit older, I feel like if I want to do something for my birthday and I invite people and they want to come, great. But I would never mind if somebody just didn't come. You know what I mean? Because they're like, I can't get a babysitter, or sorry, we're not going to make... Like, you don't even have to give an excuse. Sorry,
No, sorry. I was about to say, so would
birthday.
you actually be totally fine if somebody was just like, hey, I'm not coming, I don't want to?
I think so, yeah. Well, it depends on the person. If I was like, you go to everything else.
Yeah, what if I'm like, Rosemary, I just don't really feel like it, I'm not coming. How do you feel about that? You don't look delighted. I'm just going to say, you just don't look delighted.
I would be very suspicious. I'd be like, Beatrice McCabe loves parties, loves restaurants, loves drinks in fancy glasses, isn't coming to my birthday dinner.
Drinks in fancy glasses? Take a picture of this.
She's currently drinking wine out of a like Frosty the Snowman frosted glass. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Drinks in fancy glasses. But like, you know what I mean? You love going out for a cocktail. Last time we went and we got our hair cut on the same day, you were like, let's just run over here for a glass of wine outside the patio.
Excuse me, you said that. If Dawn's listening, she forced me to do that, Dawn. That's why I wasn't back for hours after my curfew.
Your curfew. But yeah, I mean, if you turn down an invitation to, I'd be like, something is really wrong.
Okay, bad example.
Very bad example.
If Dawn turned it down, you'd actually just be amazed that he replied to your text message.
I would be so shocked.
Oh. So, okay, so you're going to have... Okay, so what are we going to do then for your 37th birthday when the pandemic will be over? What shall we do?
What am I going to do next year for my 37th birthday? Well, I'll be deep in the weeds of wedding planning, Beatrice.
Oh, you will. And you have, let me tell you, you have been an extremely easygoing bride so far. Thanks for taking me up on my offer. Yes, thanks for taking me up on my offer to be your wedding planner, which was immediately rebuffed without even any reflection, which insulted me.
Literally, we were talking about this last week and you were saying how it's mad how people just suddenly think that they could become like homeschoolers even though they've never studied teaching. And I was saying it's mad that you think you can be a wedding planner
Rosemary,
when you've never studied planning.
I literally work on planning and product development all the time. I work on calendars and coordination. That is my job.
My wedding is not a product, it's an event.
And Dawn is an event expert.
Oh, that's actually true.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe Don could be my wedding planner.
Forget it. He'd be so mean to you. He'd be so mean.
He would never write back to my text and be like,
yeah, this is stupid.
I'd be like, Don, what do you think about this? Ignored. What do you think about this? Like, sending you a link. Maybe we could do something like this. Ignored.
Oh my God, totally ignored. And then afterwards, total denial that he ever received the link. I sent it to you, I didn't get it. I sent it, or I spent ages, for example, looking for a dining room table. I finally today sent him the links for the 5th time. This is gross.
Is this the white one with the chunky legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that one either, really.
I sent him a variety of white tables.
Oh.
To choose from.
Why white?
Because the house is all wood.
Oh,
so it's very dark. So
you.
we have a wooden table and it's very heavy. So we need something to break up the space.
To brighten it up.
Yeah.
You know what though? Speaking of wedding planning, which I suppose is a tenuous link to parties, 'cause it's a party of sorts. I now understand how easy it is to get carried away with the idea of having to get to kind of steamroll yourself down the road of having a traditional wedding through nobody's influence, because nobody in my life was going, oh, you have to have it in an event space, you have to wear a wedding dress, you have to wear this. And literally, I was only engaged about 2 weeks, and I had
10 days,
a meeting with a wedding planner, and I had all these massive wedding gowns saved to my Instagram saved collections. And then it was only when you were like, what are you doing? You've never wanted a traditional wedding. I don't think you'd like that. Why don't you just do something more low key? That I was really annoyed at the time. And then
I don't think I said that. I just more.
Beatrice is right.
I don't think I said don't do that. It was more like
no.
It was more hey, you are not going to enjoy this day, because also with it being in America, the bulk of the guests, if you do a 200-person wedding or 100-person, as you were initially discussing, is going to be
just going to be the Brandon show.
Yeah, and then you're going to be exhausted and raging at the end of it all when you just want to kick up your heels with your girlfriends and your family.
Actually, have to say, sorry, Liam, our producer, is excellent at birthday gifting.
Liam's an excellent gifter. Excellent at gifting.
He is an excellent gifter, but birthdays as well. Christmas is kind of, I don't mean to say easy, but the date is easy. Do you know what I mean? You're never going to forget it. But he never forgets birthdays either. And I always forget his birthday. And every year
my friend Kevin remembers literally the most random people's birthdays. He remembers them all. What was the worst birthday? I have to say that again. What was the worst birthday present you ever received?
I actually have no idea. I don't think I can remember any of my birthday presents.
Well, obviously it doesn't matter what we get you.
No, well, I mean, I don't think I've ever got a gift and thought, oh, that was terrible. This is a terrible gift. Except for that Juicy Couture watch that my ex-boyfriend gave me as a joke.
I got a beautiful green necklace from my parents for my 40th, which immediately snapped in two and needs to be fixed. I only discovered the other day. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I supervised the purchase of that. Can't believe it snapped.
Yeah, the chain just broke.
Oh my God, raging.
Then I was thinking about, I remember when I was in France in secondary school, we went for a 2-week break and it was over my birthday, and we stayed with guest families, Oh, was it Wales or France? I can't remember, interchangeable. Foreign languages. And anyway,
they speak English in Wales.
We were in a Welsh speaking household. That was the whole point.
Okay,
Clan for Gogo.
Fine, go on.
Clan for Gogo Gok. Anyway. And I remember on the day of my birthday, the mother of the house came into me with a parcel, a little present from Mom of 2 books. And I opened it and I was just 2 books.
You bitch.
I know. And now I'm how nice of her, how thoughtful she, that she thought to send a present. I know. What an absolute knob. I think I just was really hating it. I was not very good at being away from home at that point in my life. Then I was thinking about when I turned 30. When Julie and I turned 30, because her birthday is on October the 12th and my birthday is on November the 3rd, we decided, we were living in New York, we were single and living the high life, and we decided that we would mark our 30th birthdays.
Sorry, I thought the whole thing was that you weren't single and your then boyfriend was annoyed that she bought you a ring.
Well, what I mean is unmarried. We were
unmarried.
We were, relatively single. I was going out with this guy for a year at this point. And we decided that we would mark this milestone birthday by going to Tiffany's and getting ourselves a ring in a little blue box for each other. And it was real.
Going to Tiffany's? Mm-hmm. Jesus, you have such notions about yourself. You weren't going to mark your birthday by going to IHOP for a nice brunch.
No. I absolutely had notions. I mean, now take my life. I mean, I'm constantly covered in cat and dog hair. I'm yes, these were the days. Anyway, we went and we picked out these rings. One for, obviously we picked out our own rings and then we bought them for each other. A Paloma Picasso ring. And we were delighted with ourselves. And we talked a lot about like how this was independence and this was, it marked, and we were going to do the same because these are stackable rings. And we were like, when we turn 40 now, we buy each other the next one. Lol. No, we didn't. We're like, we've all got kids. We've got like whatever. We've got actual other responsibilities. We were like, when we're 50 now and these kids have moved out, we'll actually get ourselves the next ring in the set. And anyway, right, we've got mortgages now. We've got all the boring stuff. We've got bills and like roofs that are caving in, etc. Anyway, so we bought ourselves these rings. Little did we know this was going to actually be the demise of my relationship. My boyfriend at the time was so outraged. My French boyfriend was so outraged that anybody other than he would deign to put a ring on his girlfriend's finger. And we were like, well, we're giving each other a ring. If you want to give me a ring, it's fine. No, I will give the ring. You will not give a ring. It is a man's place in a relationship. It is not appropriate for you to give the ring. There were these, and I remember we were in Italy at the time. We were in Italy like the week running up to my birthday. And there were these long phone calls where he was just getting more and more irate and you don't understand. And like, this is not appropriate. And this is my place. And you're my girlfriend and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, this guy, I mean, he's very nice, but I'm just like, I don't think this is the man for me. This is just such a nut conversation.
But sorry, also, if he wanted to buy you a ring, what was stopping him?
Well, that's exactly what I said. But it wasn't an engagement ring he wanted to buy. It was just a ring, right? And I was like, hey, I've got like actually 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. You can happily buy me a ring. I'll wear them both at once. No problem.
For a second, I was like, 8 fingers? What happened to your other fingers?
But I was totally delighted. I was like, and also you can take a ring off and put another ring on the next day. Like you can change your rings out. It was just the most ridiculous. And he got
rings on all your fingers and bells on your toes.
And look, he'd be delighted. Today I've got no rings on. Because my fingers...
Where's your engagement ring?
My engagement ring is too small for me after I got it sized down. They uber sized it down. It has to be sized back up on my chubby fingers.
Oh,
I'm not as thin as I was. Anyway, he came to the brunch with mom and dad, and mom was just like, I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, she liked him. She was like, oh, he's very grumpy. He was super silent and super sulky. He was very sulky for the whole brunch. And then we broke up. And then he called me up and invited me for dinner. Kind of 2 weeks later, he's like, I think we still haven't resolved this. We need to talk. So I turn up for dinner in this really cool place around the corner from my apartment, and he's sitting there and he goes, I'm ready for you to apologize.
And did you?
No, I didn't. For once in my life, I did not. I was like,
I was
no,
say,
sorry.
Because like, honestly, I think if that was me, I would have been like, oh, sorry.
No, I was like, what am I apologising for? The fact that you didn't want to buy me a ring, so you didn't. Oh, do you know what I was actually thinking was the worst birthday present I ever got? Was from my Italian boyfriend. The one who told me that I needed more mousse in the back of my hair to curl it. Right?
Was this when he gave you the whole like ham hock? Oh no.
No, that's what he brought in his suitcase, right? That wasn't even a metaphor, to Ireland to wow the family with. Not like, you would think you couldn't outdo yourself if you gave somebody an amazing La Perla paper bag on their birthday and like said, hey, open this when I'm gone home. And you open it, there's a big fucking Aran sweater in it. Sorry, I should say a tiny Aran sweater that didn't even fit me. Not that. Yes, I mentioned
you talked about this on our breakup episode.
But it's not that.
Oh, not that.
No, I remembered afterwards there was actually a birthday present that he gave me. And he goes, hey, I wanted to get you something, And he gives me this little box. And I was like, oh my God, I was so mortified. I was such a nerd. I was so mortified by the fact that he gave me a piece of jewellery. I was like, oh my God. And I opened it. It was a World Wildlife Federation piece of jewellery, right? They do little necklaces with animals on the end of them, like little gold animals. And it was a hippopotamus, right? And they all have a meaning. And this one was...
That had a very clear meaning.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I thought. But it was ti voglio bene, which means I want good things for you. Like, I like you. Like, if you're in Italy, if you're going out with somebody, you'd be like, oh, ti voglio bene. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I like him. He's grand. Like, ti amo is I love you, right? Ti voglio bene. It's like, yeah. It's like, we're not dating. We're not serious. It's very Sex and the City. Like, we're not official. Like, we're not exclusive, So, a hippo ti voglio bene. Really? Did I break up with him? No. I put it on and wore it for about 2 years, Rosemary. I know. What the hell?
Do you still have it?
Yes, I do, upstairs somewhere. I think I just kept it to remind myself, never again let somebody call you a hippo. Don't let anyone put a hippo around your neck.
Never accept World Wildlife Federation jewellery from somebody you love. You're going to have to take a picture of that. We can put it on the Instagram.
I just couldn't believe it. I know. The hippo. Where'd you get that? My boyfriend gave it to me.
What would you, like, say if your birthday was next week and there was no pandemic, what would you like to do? Just have a party?
I'd love to have a party. I would love to. No, do you know what? I'm going to postpone it till March or April. I'm going to have a big outdoor party.
Till your kids are 16?
No, I'm going to have a big... I've never had a housewarming. I'm just going to... This year, I'm just going to have a big party. Assuming, or maybe next year. But as soon as I can, I'm having a massive party. And if you're not going to get married in my back garden...
Next year, you're having a massive party because it's going to be called my wedding.
No, you said you're not getting married in my garden. So if you're not getting married in my garden, I am getting catering. I am getting a drive-up pizza truck. I am having people swimming in the pool.
Excuse me.
I am having a party.
The latest plan I shared with you was that we were going to have brunch, get married in City Hall, and then come back to your house for a big party. So
you said like a couple of people.
Truck.
But here's what I'm going to do.
No, everybody.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait till you have finalised the date of your wedding. And then I'm going to have a massive party the week before.
I mean, that would actually, I think you'd be fine. You'd be like 2 parties.
Oh my God, I'd be fine with that. It's more like I'm going to make sure all these people come over from Ireland and then they'll be like, oh, we've got to go home. No, Mom and Dad are here for 3 months.
Nobody's coming over from Ireland for your garden party.
Excuse me, how dare you? I'm going to make sure there's some slabs at it.
Slabs in Fort Wayne?
Yeah. Rosemary McCabe. At that point, you'd have 70,000 followers.
Well, yes. At the rate they're growing at the moment, I think I'll reach 70,000 by the year 2062. So we have that to look forward to.
Oh, excellent. So what gift would you like for your birthday now? Since you're in lockdown and you've knitted your heart out, and actually I owe you some Venmo. I owe you some Venmo is probably not a young person's way of talking. I owe you some Venmo.
I'll write you a check on Venmo. What would I really like for my birthday? I honestly have everything I could want.
Oh.
No. I mean, there's nothing that I really... I do, though. Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that I really...
Well, we know. We read your spending diaries. We know you do.
No, I mean, yeah, there's nothing that I particularly...
Wait till you see.
Have seen and go, I really, really want that.
Wait till everybody sees what I've gotten you for your birthday.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see.
It is a gold...
hippopotamus.
No, it is a gold-plated banshee slaying steak.
This has been Not Without My Sister, a podcast presented by two Irish sisters living in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Beatrice, where can people follow you online if they want to? Don't know why they would.
On my Instagram website at Beatrice McCabe with an A in my Mac.
I'm at Rosemary McCabe with an A in my Mac, and you can find the podcast on Instagram at Not Without My Sister. You can email us, notwithoutmysis@gmail.com, if you have any suggestions, questions, queries, or comments that you wish to make about this or any episode. You'll get full episodes on Tuesdays, mini-sodes on Fridays, and if you have 2 seconds and you could give us a review on iTunes, it would be very, 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 very much appreciated.
However, caveat, we would like to ask for 5 stars, not an excellent review and 1 star. As we obviously are going to have to do some reiteration of this fact, Rosemary.
Yes, 5 stars only, please. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Not Without My Sister is produced by Liam Garrity, sound and original music by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
Not Without My Sister is a member of The Warren, the home of great Irish podcasts. As is my podcast, Meet Your Maker. You'll find more great shows at thewarren.ie.